Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome back to Humankind. We have a very awesome update. The Bonny update is now live, comes with naval combat improvements, resources, and trading. Now this has a pretty massive effect across the entire spectrum. Naval battles come with rebalancing, new ships, the ability to fire back, much like some of the firing back systems that exist on land. They've overhauled resource deposit and requirement systems, new enhanced trade, which makes things a little more interesting, including the idea of poaching and allowing you to pocket some of those resources if you're able to disrupt that trade sector. So there's lots of good things, but on top of that, we have the oceans, the cultures of Oceania, which brings in 6 new cultures, 6 new wonders, new narrative events, etc., etc. A huge shout out to the Humankind and Amplitude team for sending me this before. Wasn't able to get to it, but that's all right. Now you'll notice I'm a little bit into the Carthaginians right now as a kind of a test run, but we're gonna start a new game that has its own systems. We're gonna play with as many people as possible. We're gonna go with a large, recommended for 8 players. Things are gonna get a little bit crowded. And overall, we're gonna work on creating what would basically be forcing us to have as many different, nautical themes as possible. So we're going to go with a very wet climate, very little land percentage. We have lots of continents, lots of islands, and then we're also going to go with lots of oceanic territory size. We may reduce that to 50 just for kicks and giggles. Lots of lakes, lots of rivers. Elevation is going to be great. Strategic resources, let's just go and just abundant the holy heck out of them. And we'll spread that. That's going to be fantastic. I'm super excited to play this, and I hope you guys are too. Let's go ahead and hit that play button. All right, and we don't start too shabby. We have some sage right here, which gives us 3 food on administrative centers, meaning that the more cities that we incorporate and the more territories, the more food we actually get, which I think is really, really great overall. Stability in all cities is, of course, perfect on top of that. So that's something where we can easily go. This is a great start. There's lots of food around here. Unfortunately, not a lot of industry. So we would kind of have to balance, do I want to go like right here and establish, but this is probably the best location, in which case we forego our more idea on industry and focus more there. That's probably where we'll end up.
Nothing else. You could learn what killed them.
That's exactly right. So not a whole lot to begin with, which means our start's a little bit rough. We got a little more science as well. We're really racking up that science. This is going to be a big determination on what we choose. This wouldn't be a bad area. We'd be able to get a handful of both industry as well as food. I'm actually really digging this spot. So I think that might be where we go instead, and then we try and push as far as we can outward. We're not going to take on a woolly mammoth. That would be bad news bears, and we would most certainly lose. Area looks like we got a full stack of copper, which is really, really good. Now again, the stacks, I don't fully and completely comprehend what the stacks mean, but they do have an importance to them that's a little bit outside of the norm. And then we got our stories of the stars. On cloudless nights after fires have dimmed down, our tribe looks to the skies. They've noticed recurring patterns, stories from their adventures, their victories, their defeats. We're gonna go with destiny to shape the theme of our tribe, and that's mainly to get our influence so we can establish the best places to start. So again, this is what I mean. We could totally go back here for a minute, and we could rock some really solid balancing right there, which is what we're gonna do. We're really close to getting that knowledge star, and we're gonna use that to establish our first area. Brilliant. And then we can go ahead and push on over to here if we wanted to, because this is going to be a good spot for us as well. There we go. There's our second person. Seeds of an idea. Yesterday, the tribe came across a vast tract of wild grain. But instead of pounding the seeds into flour, someone suggests planting half of them so the seeds may come up next time. We'll definitely grind, and we'll see how that affects everything down the road. Awesome. We unlocked a growth star, which means we now have 5 people in all of our territories, which works really, really well. However, we're going to push things a little bit further. We're going to go ahead and rock, and hopefully that we get the knowledge star. Awesome. Also generates a little bit of knowledge on that front. And then we have an outstretched hand. The tribe built its first outpost. Though such wanderers passed by the settlement, none have approached you directly until today, when a small group of strangers arrived at sunup. They came bearing an unexpected request to create bonds of peace. You know what? We are going to work on, we're going to embrace. We're going to go ahead and get another person in there because why the heck not? And then, of course, the tribe's legacy. This is what we always get before we go up into the next era. Do we want to be makers? Do we want to be farmers? Or do we want to be storytellers? And to be quite frank, I kind of think we want to be storytellers because I like the idea of adding science and us leveling up and being able to expand that way. So we're going to go and rock it with that one. We have 200. We're technically in first place. However, we can see that there's only 4 slots left that haven't used up. Oh, and they took the Phoenicians. Those are who I wanted because we could definitely take advantage of some of this coastal ground. But you know what? That's okay. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. We have the Apama Nugian. They get influence on a landmark and a natural wonder. We don't have any of those near us. 2 food per adjacent river. I don't even think we're on rivers over there. We're on rivers here. There's not a lot, so I don't think we're going to go with one of the new packs from the cultures of Oceania. We have the cultures of Africa. Number of adjacent empires on territory. We're not near anyone right now, so that doesn't really affect us. We can go with the Carolans. What do these healers do? Provides health regeneration to all units, even outside of friendly territory. Okay. Cooperative spirit gives food on farmers, industry on makers. And then allows the construction of new districts on adjacent tiles. 2 faith per adjacent district. Not shabby, but not exactly what I want. Ooh, this is interesting. If we wanted to go the Sumerians route, the Agaush would be a pretty awesome thing. We have plenty of bronze we could go after. The Iduba gives 5 leverage against known empires when the Iduba is built. 2 science, but the interesting thing here is that 6 science against an adjacent main plaza and 6 science against the administrative. That's going to be very, very crucial for us overall. We may have to go the Sumerians, which is someone I haven't actually played as before. The makers and all that stuff are great. The Harapans are great as well, but they're just not quite what I'm wanting overall. And then, the Hittites, I'm just not jiving with them. Sumerians is going to be the way that it goes. Look at us. We're looking pretty darn fine. We're definitely going to rock with that. There we go. All right. Your first city can be founded as well. Monk. Oh, no. We have a mammoth on our city. Oh, no. Please get away. Please don't wreck it. That'd be very, very sad. Please don't do that. But first, we need to get some technology. We don't really have any resources outside of Sage that we can take advantage of, but I do feel like the calendar is going to be the best way to go. And then we need to get down to bronze working, so that means city defenses and then into bronze working. We'll then wrap things up with some carpentry, which leads to fishing. We'll go domestication and see how things go. We're going to move up and around, just try and explore while we can. Please, Mr. Mammoth, just move along. Thank you so much.
First city constructed. Walls, roofs, an outhouse. Ah, the luxuries of civilization.
Indeed. So we're going to always work with the pottery workshop because it gives us 4 influence on the main plaza, which is going to be very crucial. And then you'll see here that 8 science is huge. Right now we only have 5, so we literally go up by 150%. That's massive. And then we'll be able to expand that again when we go over there. So this has a lot of benefits to boosting our technological expansion rate. And then as we move along, we ought to see this would actually be pretty solid in terms of expanding into the more industrial minded areas. I'm going to go ahead and move back up here though, because I think we need to do that as much as possible. And we've unlocked Empire Foundations. I'm not going to do this because I really want to attach this. Gets us an expansionist star for 1. We can go ahead and work that pottery workshop. And then we can see here just the absolute benefits of being able to push these as fast and as quickly as possible. And in fact, I'm gonna forego that just so I can push into our industry a little faster. Working on exploring. Okay, cool.
It's one of those moments that
Oh,
makes
there we
you
go.
feel
Nice.
like a small thing on a wondrous planet.
We totally need to go grab this. Now, this is a main plaza thing, so we could totally establish our dominance over here. We haven't met anyone yet, but we can see how we could take advantage of kind of this water-based system when it comes down to it. And it looks like we are pretty much all on our own. Outside of potentially looking down here, this looks even to be on our own. It's a little upsetting. I was hoping to have a little bit of competition. But you know, things can happen. We never know what's going to happen overall. Including things like, you know, of herds and heirlooms. Every death comes with pain and grief, but as time has passed, family quarrels have become commonplace. We could overlook things, make sure that, well, you know, we want to keep things fairly civil, but that pushes us towards tradition. If we distributed collectivism and, of course, individualism, we're not going to dilute. The firstborn will obtain everything. I'm a firstborn myself, so I'm a little bit biased, but not so much to where I feel like it's a bad thing. All right, so we built our first, what is this? A Iduba. And again, that's boosting our technology research by a massive amount. We've also researched calendar, which means I can start going into our sage and start working on those. I can get a warrior if I wanted to. I don't really want to, because what we want to work on right now is figuring out where this next thing is going to go. And I do want to focus on this, even though it's not going to give us quite as much industry. We'll be able to build our emblematic unit, or our emblematic thing, and be able to take advantage of the science on top of it. So overall, I'm very happy with that decision. I think it's the smartest way to go. Now, the other kicker here is, what do I want to do on this front? Do I want to establish a new city? Do I want to establish a new city here? Or do I want to establish a new city over there? It's going to cost quite a bit either way. But I think we do want to split up our empires to where we are making multiple things. We'll take advantage of this area quite a bit. If I were to establish right here, that would be a great spot for our main city. Well, in the midst of everything going on, we've established ourselves enough to get shamanism or polytheism and create our own religion. Shamanism is always going to be the best one in my opinion, because we're going to be able to expand our cities and hopefully have some bigger mega cities in the long game. So founding our religion on shamanism is going to be the way to go. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we might find some people over here, but I haven't found anyone yet, which I do believe I am truly alone in this sad, sad universe. So we are gonna go with aloneism. There we go. We'll see how that works. We'll see if the population soaks it up or if things just get uber depressing from there on out. But yeah, we're basically rocking this because we are able to get so much research done. We're actually halfway to our next era and we're on top, which normally does not happen even on the nation thing. And yes, I am playing on nation because, well, I want to enjoy the game. I don't want to have to worry about min-maxing too much. And we are indeed alone, but look at that, volunteers. Nice, we got ourselves a group of warriors, which allows us to get yet another star. There's lots of stuff everywhere here though, so if we can establish ourselves and get out in the open and start crossing land masses, we'll be really good. This is the game of prophecy, basically. We've got a game here that people are starting to use the divine things just a little too much. If I were to heat it, it would push me more towards tradition, and I don't want to do that. We'll move over towards liberty, though, because I don't want to waste any money. And to be quite honest, we have the ability to handle all of this. Is there anything super beneficial of putting a harbor here? You know what, there is, because it will allow us to make our own way there. But also, we need to establish our religion, and I think kind of having it over here overlooking the cliffs is going to be the best way to do that. Fantastic. We're rocking and rolling. How much would it be to turn this into a city? 160, we're almost there, so I think we'll do that instead. Now, I still cannot cross. I don't have a technology that allows me to do that. However, I can start working my way over to here, or even into this landmass, maybe just the best way to go overall. Because then I could quite possibly skip Hop Hip over there, and I think would be good. We do have some civics. We're not going to focus on civics right now because I do want to get that second city established. We're going to work on way there. What do we got? We got the wheel, followed up by sailing. The sailing is what's going to allow us to get into the embarkation. So we're going to chill there for just a little bit. Look at that. Oh, we are being surpassed. We're now in third, but it's all right. No big deal. No big deal. We just want to establish our second city. There we go. That's going to jump us up by quite a bit. We need to rock and roll on our science while we still have science to do it. I'm going to go ahead. Boom. Look at that. We got our Era Star. Remind me later. We got it from doing a builder. We're back up into first place. And I can go ahead and work on that. We spend all of our money, but we have such a huge influence boost now that there is only a positive that can be had from it. I'm going to go ahead and pump into industry. That doesn't really do much for us. Not in the ways that I want it to, anyways. And then that allows us again to expand a little bit faster, significantly faster actually, because then we can start working on expanding our realms and being able to focus on establishing our external areas. Now, oh, come on, I should be able to embark. Is it really not going to let me? I swear that's what allowed this to happen. Okay, it isn't. We want trade expeditions, which is going to be our next one up. Just a few more turns to complete all the necessary things. I just want to gain as much fame as possible before we move along, and we can do that by, we're pretty darn close to getting that next one. 4 turns, I'm willing to sacrifice. Or am I? I don't think I am. We essentially have the best options here right now. The Nazca, The Polynesians are great, but my issue with the Polynesians is that that's a big influence boost though. That's 3 influence plus 1 per mare, which means those do end up stacking pretty nicely. And we get faith on top of it. We don't suffer from lost at sea issues, not as much anyways. And the Falua is just an awesome damage by consecutive turns in deep water. Money per territories under religious influence, which would be a really good thing for us as the Axumites. Science, we're already so focused on science. This is what I'm wondering. Do we have a whole lot of coastal areas? We do. Look at all the coasts. That's a massive boost that we may have to take advantage of. The Persians are great. The Mayans are great as well. I think we have to go as the Carthaginians. This is just too much. That's too great of a thing. We're definitely going to do that before anyone else takes it away from us. And now we can go ahead and dig into this a little bit because we do need to start focusing on it. So for instance, creating outposts could go down, or attaching outposts. We're going to dive into
That seems
the tradition side a little bit.
Of right and wrong, not to mention yours and mine.
And then if we went into Divine Mandate, gives us lots of faith. But yeah, we're going to roll into that as well.
Let's keep it simple.
Conscripts, I love the idea of industry units being, or the industry cost of units being cheaper. So I think that's going to give us a big boost in total. Yeah, I really like that direction. Let's go ahead and in that turn, let's let's get into the Carthaginians. And the Carthaginians are where we're gonna roll. Now, the thing here is this is a little outrageous. I don't know that we're gonna be able to compound that enough to really work on our own stuff, but that's okay. It's not a huge problem. We need to just really focus on expansion in the best ways. So we go to our tech screen, we're gonna get masonry and organized warfare, but I do want trade expeditions up front and center after that. We need to be able to work on those quite effectively. And foreign outposts, getting our quadrireme is probably gonna be our next big ordeal. Followed up by getting down to mounted warfare. That's gonna give us a lot of ways to expand really simply. And then yes, that's a brilliant way to move there. We should be able to push, not quite yet. Not quite yet, my friends. Organized warfare lets us bring in those reinforcements. This is what I am so entirely excited about. Look at that. Plus 11 food, plus 15 industry. That's almost 100% boost per territory on that front anyways. If we were to go over to our other people over here, we should be able to see some pretty massive bonuses as well. That works for me. I am totally okay with all of those, and it's gonna be like that because we experience so much of that coastal stuff. Oh, I am super excited. And then we're gonna move over to here and get into that territory. This is dangerous because it gives us a massive boost overall to all of the areas in which we need them. Oh, okay, so we are going to have to go back down here. That's fine. And we are just going to be able to immediately attach and get another set of boosts. This one isn't as intense, but you know what? This is inside of a lake, which is a bit different. We'll go with the differences, and I think it'll work well. Now, as for a living art, skilled healers come to you with evidence of a most interesting discovery. When treating a patient, she mixed a fresh salve and applied it directly on the wound. After unwrapping, the healer is surprised to find the skin marked by a fine, permanent dark line. Using her insights, such striking ornamentation can be etched forever. This is cool. This is the Polynesian form of tattooing. If we grant it to our most noble people, we get 17 industry across the board for 10 turns. And that moves us towards, what is that, authority? Not bad. If we move towards our soldiers, we get 50% health regeneration. Oof. What's our total population? Our total population is 11. We're going to go with nobles. I want to be able to crank these things out rather quickly. And that I feel like is going to be the best way that we can do it. That works for me. We're also making a massive amount of influence anyways, to where we could totally cash this in. Yeah, I think in between these mountain ranges is going to be our best hope. And trade expeditions has been researched. This allows us to move into these areas, hopefully without dying. We'll hopefully be able to move fast enough across enough expansive land, and that is just going to allow us to expand rather quickly. Now what we could do, we could certainly, we are going to need, let's go ahead and roll with one of those guys, because I do want to be able to conquer the rest of these territories. We want to still be able to be efficient in that area. But as you can see here, we could totally get this in the next if we wanted to. Or what I love is that I can start using my massive amounts of influence to be able to affect things and push these basically emblematic units and super useful buildings without having to worry about.
So you have invested in the construction of a holy
Yep.
site.
That's great.
Is this an opiate or a panacea?
But basically being able to push our Kothon without having to actually build it is massive, and it only helps us out in the positives, in my opinion. We're not going to worry about that. One turn isn't going to cause any issues on my front, but this is what we're here for, is to be able to expand and move along. And the hope is that eventually I can find other civilizations That will work well and jive with the rest of us. Now, that's going to be our best spot right there. Being able to take advantage of silver is going to be huge. Let's go ahead and get a move on, little doggy. We'll just go right there. Please and thank you. Nice. Awesome. Gets us a little bit of a boost. It's nothing huge. It's nothing over dramatic.
It's a symbol of pride and power for your empire. Let's hope they're worth the price.
I think they're worth the price, and you can kind of just chill the heck out overall, please and good sir. Now that we can explore this island, it's not a lot. That doesn't mean that it's not worthwhile, and in fact, it's very much worthwhile. All things considered. 3 stacks of incense, and we got some saffron that's going to allow us to be much more influential across the board. And then we're going to disembark and hope that... Not much hope on that front. Not much hope at all, but again, we're a hip hop and a skip away over here. And we are going to make our way and cross into this border and hope that maybe we can find some other people, because I'm not going to lie, I love talking to you guys.
On another continent. Quite the globe-spanning imperialist you've become.
Oh, very cool. So I've quite literally conquered this entire continent. It's all of mine. It's all mine. Although we're in 3rd place. Wow, they're already, whew. They're rocking and rolling, aren't they? Wow, well done. Good for them. But yeah, we've conquered this whole continent, which is really awesome. Again, I do wish there were a little more friends just to hang out with and do stuff with, but I think that'll come eventually. We just have to be, patient.
The first ship is a wonderful thing. Sadly for the crew, we're likely to see the first seasickness as well.
We've got our first pentaconter, and that's going to allow us to explore, and this is where we'll really start digging in. I don't really want to end this episode without having found at least one other civilization, so that way we can interact and we can really engage in some of the newer mechanics of the game that centralize around diplomacy and working on trade deals. So while we've conquered the continent, I don't see a huge use for going after those guys. I still just want to be able to hang out and do stuff.
I suppose there are some things that are best done alone.
Yeah, we definitely want a city
Most
cap, 100%.
Eventually yield to the onslaught of more brains.
And if we look here, we see that we are at our limits there. I don't think I could... Nope, that's not a smart idea. It's not a smart idea at all. In fact, it's the opposite of a smart idea. It's a really dumb idea. This, however, is a smart idea. Oh, and I think we just discovered a new continent. This is super exciting times because, again, I don't really have anyone to hang out with. There's not a lot to do. There's not a lot to see. We're working on making things, pretty useful overall. But I need friends. I need friends and I need things to do. I need to be able to send my envoy somewhere. To be able to do something. Envoy. And right now I just can't do that until I go and discover new people. Yep, you're gonna get over here so you don't die. Nope, don't go over there. So I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because there was no one on my island with me. So I've conquered a continent. I've spread my influence throughout this entire continent, although I haven't actually really done much of anything. So again, feels like a little bit of cheating. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm also okay with it because, let's face it, the AI cheats quite significantly, so I don't feel too terribly bad. Just a little bit. Just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. Let's go ahead and attach this. Our first expansionist star out of this whole shindig, which says a lot, I think. We're going to go ahead and rock our deposits there. Drop in our boyos. Forgetting that I'm able to expand things. There we go. Perfect. We've got builder stars. We're unlocking so much because, man alive, is our stuff just awesome. Ah, this is frustrating. The Bantu has fallen, which means that there's a civilization that has risen and fallen, and I have yet to meet it. That is mucho de frustrating. Especially when it seems like this island...
types to say things like, it's just a big pile of rocks.
There's no one around me. What is this madness? You know what? I bet there's people to my north. We're gonna go exploring up there. An artisan's quarter is really great and everything, but I really want to find other people, so we're gonna focus on that as a priority. You guys are doing fantastic. I'm really proud of all of you. But we really just need to hang out and have a good time.
So these are the Babylonians.
Let's do that.
It can only be an advantage to have a neighbor as smart as you are.
Indeed. Hello, Babylonians. Let's see how they register. They're just below us. They're actually tied. They just haven't moved on yet.
Sovereign. Do you too believe that there is no limit to how high humanity might soar?
Yeah, I actually believe that very much so. So what do we got here? Can we just automatically trade? Is that because we are a trading focused centric? That works for me. That's actually really awesome. So how's it going, buddy? Let's see what, let's send you a gift. Yeah, I'm not going to cede you any of that. I'll give you some money, though.
Benefit from growing closer, don't you think?
A proposal as fair as a summer's day. We accept.
We would all benefit
There we go,
from
trading
growing
luxury
closer,
goods.
don't you think?
Now we can do that anyways, but it still gives us some good ways to push things. You can stop talking at any point now. This is what I like. We're gonna go ahead and purchase that for
This will be
10.
remembered.
You already buy 0. Update the total to 3 by comparing this. Now what does that do though? If I buy this for 30, am I getting industry increased by 15? I'm not entirely sure. However, we should be able to see trade routes. There we go. All right, very nice. Seems like the UI here is a little wonky. There we go. So the maintenance is 51 per turn. Are you serious? 51 per turn. Okay. No blockages, which is great. And there we go. All right, well, that sucks. There goes our resource generation. Our gold generation. But you know what? We've at least established contact with people, which is the most important part. The Empire's reputation as an oasis of learning grows. Together with the reign of peace, philosophers from faraway lands flock to your cities. Yes, absolutely we're going to enlighten. Why wouldn't we enlighten? We're rocking 120 science per turn, which is a bit bonkers, but it's also kind of incredible. I'm super excited. Anything else I can do on all of these? I don't think so. I think we're okay. Nope, we're good. And now that we've established civilization or contact with other empires, we can build an embassy, which will allow us to do lots of really positive things. I'm going to buy out there. And then, yeah, we'll go and place that. We'll have those guys work on it. I'm okay with that because we're going to boost our embassy generation. And we're going to start pushing up just a good deal. Come across there.
The first to map the continent. Others will be after your boot designs.
There we go.
and blister
Calum,
lessons.
Calum is ours, 100%. There's just no other way to go about it. No other way to say it. Well done, everybody. And then our last event for this episode. In a few short years, sailing's gone from a dangerous experiment to a prized skill among your citizens. Your shores bustle with activities. Ships can be seen up and down the coastline, yet some seasoned marines have suggested it's possible to navigate further into the oceans. If we go stargazing, we can go towards collectivism. Half damage received for being lost at sea, or we can ignore it and get swift. We'll do collect. Why not? That allows us to be way out there anyways. So I have no issues about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, man, we have only established contact with one single empire. We're currently in 4th. However, we do have the most stars in the 2nd era, so I feel like we have a leg up. We have some breathing room. Unfortunately, we are hemorrhaging a bit of money. We may have to cancel.
Friend, I trust you are well.
We may have to reduce this in order to make some money back. I don't know if that's how it works, but we'll see if it does. Ladies and gentlemen, the update and the DLC are out right now. You can save some serious dough if you want to get on Steam. It's minus 80% off for the base game, or you can support the channel by hitting up the Nexus link down below. We're playing as the Carthaginians. We're doing really, really, really well. We haven't had to experience war, so it'll be interesting to see just how the Babylonians react to us and how that all goes. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. This is Havoc. I'll see you in the next one.